I'm a lawyer who faked a bachelor's degree and practiced law for 7 years before I got caught.
Welcome back to Director's Choice. We've all been through hardships, right? Car breaks down on the highway. Cat runs away. Aunt Louise dies in a fiery explosion. Well, believe it or not, we're not alone. Throughout the years, television has proven time and time again that some of the most relatable people are, in fact, fictional characters. Community, for example, does a great job of showing us true characters that reflect real, relatable people. Let's take a look at Jeff Winger.
My name's Jeff.
And I'm Jeff.
Jeff Winger. Hey!
Today, we will take a look at the psychological breakdown of Jeff Winger.
Cool.
From his incredibly apparent issues with his father and his abandonment issues, to his vain ego that gets in the way of his ability to empathize. Jeff does his best to hide his insecurities and be a big, strong man, like society tells him to be. But really, he calls himself broken and shows us that there may be a little more behind his cool, charismatic character than he would like us to believe. For starters, Jeff Winger has major daddy issues stemming from his father leaving him and his mother when Jeff was very young, which also fuels his abandonment issues. We first hear of Jeff's parental trouble during Season 1's Home Economics, where Jeff opens up to his roommate, Abed, about his past.
TV's the best dad there is. TV never came home drunk. TV never forgot me at the zoo. TV never abused and insulted me. Unless you count Cop Rock.
We learn that dear old Daddy Winger was less of a father figure than the television show Jeff and Abed watch in current time. Jeff recalls that his father used to come home after drinking and become physically and emotionally abusive towards him, all before leaving Jeff and his mother in the dust. This affected Jeff through the years as he got older and began to interact more with other children. He shares in the episode Cooperative Escapism in Familial Relations that he searched for ways to fill the void his father created by seeking sympathy and attention from his classmates.
No, fine, go ahead, mock me.
Because he convinced them all he had appendicitis, Jeff dug a pair of scissors through his abdomen to create a scar to make his story believable.
You want to see the scar? So, you get credit for that too.
Although humorous in its own way, this event from Jeff's past really gives us an inside look into his psyche and why he tries to act calm, cool, and collected. Because that hasn't always been the case. There are many cases during the show where Jeff displays his daddy issues for the world to see.
I could use a drink.
He once got drunk at a wedding during Introduction to Finality in Season 3.
Hello, everyone.
And declared his absolute hatred for the institution of marriage, which very clearly stems from his father leaving his mother and going back on promises he made to the two of them.
My daddy said he would stay with my mommy forever, and he left. Marriage is a lie. Nobody commits to this. Nobody stays with anybody forever, so why do we keep lying?
In Season 1's episode Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, Pierce makes up a title for Jeff during a silly game of Dungeons & Dragons, labeling him Jeff the Liar, son of William the Unknown, adding to Jeff's repressed burning rage for his father.
It was strangely Jeff the Liar, son of William the Barely Known.
And not to put the cherry right on top of Jeff's internal battles with his father, but when finally confronted about his past actions and how they affected his family, Daddy Winger tells Jeff that he believes Jeff is stronger because of it.
And me leaving seems to have made you independent, made you strong.
With all due respect, which is none. Go to hell.
Especially in comparison to Jeff's newly discovered half-brother, Willie Jr., who has always lived with his father.
I knew it! You love him more than me!
Because he didn't have his father growing up, Jeff heavily relied on his mother for emotional support. As cute as it is that Jeff is a major mama's boy, his mother's coddling led to Jeff believing that he is incredibly gifted and has a natural talent for everything, which fuels his internal anger when he isn't good at things. Cue the Intro to Pottery class scene.
Jeff, do you know what you are? You're special. You're very special, Jeff. You're the most special little boy in the world.
This also turns Jeff into a vain and egotistical maniac because he was raised to believe he is the greatest human being and better than everyone at everything.
Look at me. It's clear to all of you that I am awesome. But I can never admit that because that would make me an ass.
Having been overpraised and coddled by his mother, Jeff believes that he is deserving of anything he wants without putting any effort into earning that desired thing. Let's dive deeper into that intro to pottery class, for example. To start things off with a narcissistic bang, Jeff only signs up for the class because he thinks it'll be an easy A. This already shows that he's not putting much effort into his education and just wants to pass as easily as he can.
All right. Hello, ladies. What you guys making? Big balls here? Oh, yeah. You guys getting dirty?
However, he quickly realizes that he has no talent in pottery making whatsoever and becomes incredibly jealous of Rich, his pottery classmate, who excels in the art and wins praise by not only the professor, but by his female classmates as well. This lights a spark in Jeff. He takes to the pottery studio after hours and actually tries to practice pottery, but alas, still has no talent.
All right. Let's do this.
At least he tried though, right? Well, his animosity for Rich grows even stronger when Jeff fakes an injury in order to get out of class. But little does he know, Rich is actually a doctor and quickly declares Jeff's injury non-existent.
But my medical degree does. I'm a doctor.
A doctor.
I just take pottery to unwind. Haven't lost a patient in 5 years. Puts a lot of pressure on a person. So the good news is this is neither sprained nor broken.
Faking this injury shows that Jeff doesn't want to try to master a skill he lacks, but would rather sulk about it and fake a broken finger. He thinks that because he is so great and special, just like his mommy said, everything should be handed to him. To add insult to injury, Jeff doesn't acknowledge his feelings and would rather shove all his feelings into a teeny tiny bottle and cap it off with aloofness and cool guyness. Jeff acts as if everything is chill and cool and fine, when really he is bursting at the seams. In Season 3's Biology 101, Dr. Richard Kane, Jeff's new biology professor, kicks him out of class because his cell phone was ringing. When Jeff goes to apologize, Dr. Kane forgives him and says he can return to class if he gives up his cell phone. He compares the phone with the walls that Jeff built up around his emotions, saying that not even a single blade of grass could break through his cemented walls.
You and your phone and your attitude and your Fruit Loops cologne. Your walls put up so tight, man, not even a blade of grass could get through. But even if it did, you wouldn't appreciate it.
So it's pretty clear that Jeff's abandonment issues with his father shapes his relationships as an adult. He tries to keep everything calm, cool, and collected on the outside, while he experiences emotional turmoil on the inside. This external and internal war shows itself in Season 2's intermediate documentary filmmaking. Jeff is skeptical about Pierce's claim that he's dying in the hospital and refuses to feel guilty. Narcissistic red flag number 1. When each member of the group goes into the hospital room one by one, coming back out to the waiting room with gifts from Pierce, Jeff interjects and confronts Pierce about a scheme to psychologically torment his friends to prove some kind of point.
Pierce, it's starting to seem from observing the others that you're using the social leverage afforded you by your alleged deathbed to exact complicated acts of psychological vengeance on those closest to you.
Vengeance? I was never one to hold a grudge, Jeffrey.
That's when Pierce slaps Jeff with his gift, that he has found his father and has invited him to the hospital to see Jeff. This sends Jeff into a nervous spiral. He threatens Pierce, saying that if this is some kind of sick joke, that he will beat Pierce senseless. Lo and behold, as Jeff watches a black sedan that is supposedly his father's back away quickly into another car. This gives Jeff enough time to swing open the driver's door to reveal our good friend and prankster, Pierce. Jeff holds true to his word, drags Pierce out of the car, and hits him repeatedly until the study group drags him off Pierce.
Why would you do something like this? Come on, Jeff. What?
Because I'm sick of you people not taking me seriously.
This incident is plain evidence that Jeff still has unresolved issues with his father, and even admits it after calming down in the waiting room.
Apparently, I need to say some things to my father. Things that I may have screamed at Pierce instead. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it. But my father deserves it too.
As they always say, never judge a book by its cover, or a character by the pilot episode, or maybe just anyone in general. We truly never know the struggles people deal with in their lives, or what they're handling internally. Take one look at Jeff Winger and you'd think cool, charismatic guy that is too cool for school. When in reality, he is battling with his own issues and finding ways to cope with how those issues affect his relationships today. He's not a bad guy, just a guy trying to find himself and come to terms with who he is and the traumas he's endured. Take a look at this other recent clip by Director's Choice, and make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified with our latest videos.